Morning everybody, welcome back to Brandon Lester Fishing. Pretty day. I got up early this morning, got to the lake pretty early. Still pretty cool this morning, but it's supposed to get hot. Late summer like this, there should be some fish on boat docks. We're gonna look around at some docks today. I'm gonna give you some tips as far as what I look for in a boat dock, kind of how I find fish on docks, because you know, one thing about fishing docks you got to understand, you could go down a row of 100 docks and there's going to be 2 or 3 that those crappie really relate to. So we'll talk about that and we'll catch a few crappie off docks today. Y'all stay tuned. All right, here's the first set of docks we're going to try today. I got a couple of different setups rigged up. I'll go through my setups here in a little bit, but first off, let's talk about docks and what makes a good dock and what makes crappie want to get on certain docks. Typically, the biggest drawing factor for crappie on docks is shade. That's the biggest reason why they even get on docks to begin with. But with that being said, every dock offers shade. So there's also going to be other determining factors on why they'll get on a dock. And a lot of times that determining factor is brush, and the presence of bait fish, things like that. So, you know, all docks are not created equal. Don't think that you're just gonna go out, start fishing docks and automatically run across a school of crappie, because it just doesn't work that way. Now, if you fish enough of them, you'll catch a few fish, but you really got to hunt for them and find them. Right here, we got a school of crappie sitting under a dock. Let me show y'all what I'm looking at right here. You'll see that school of crappie sitting under that dock right there. So this right here is that float right up there on that dock where the walkway goes across, and right under that is where those crappie are sitting. Pretty good little school of them in there. There's a school of bait fish in there with them. Let's get in there and see if we can catch one. So we got it back in there. We're sinking down to them now. Let's see if we can get them to bite this morning. There's one right there. Right off the bat. Feels like a nice crappie too. Or is that a crappie? No, look at that big bass. Look, look, look. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Look, there's a big old largemouth. Gosh, he just tried to eat that. God, I hope the camera's getting that. That right there is cool now. Look at that big largemouth trying to eat that yellow bass. Wow, that was crazy. Now that fish knows good and well he couldn't fit that yellow bass in his mouth. He wasn't but about a 3-pound largemouth. But he got all jacked up, and he actually hit at that yellow bass one time. That's pretty incredible. There we go. That feels like a nice one. Yeah, that's a good crappie there. That'll get us started. Trying to be a little bit cantankerous this morning. That's all right. Cantankerous. I don't even really know what that word means. Sounded right. That's a nice one. Not real fat, but he's long. Got a big old mouth on him. Just a black crappie, not a black nose. Pretty one though. In the box he goes. Most of these crappie are actually sitting under that walkway right there, and under that next slip that's got that deck built into it. The way the sun's positioned right now, I can't get to most of them, so what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to get up here and shoot my jig into that corner right there. And I've got several videos on my channel about how to shoot a jig, but basically all you do, hold that jig by the head with the hook facing away from you, just like that. Put a good bow in your rod, Just shoot that jig right up in that corner, just like that. There's another one. That's a better one there. A little better, not a big one. It's a keeper though. Quit it, buddy. Calm down. Another black crappie. Let's make sure he's 10 inches. Yep, 10 and a half. You'll see that. Number 2. A little bit slow this morning. We're gonna get them though. The sun is coming up back this way, back over here, so it's shining and under that deck over there, and it's making these fish move over a little bit where I can get to them, which I knew was gonna happen because I fished this spot before. But let's get back down there and see if we can get another one. I'm talking kind of low. It's not because there's people around, it's because I don't want to spook these fish. I try to be real cautious when I'm fishing about talking too loud or stuff like that, because, well, I believe fish can hear all that stuff. There we go. That's a keeper, I think. Yeah, that's a nice one there. Get up in here, boy. Y'all finally decide you were gonna bite? Finally found a way to get them to bite. That's the thing. It's probably 11 inches. Catching them on that mermaid color, but more so than the color right here, I feel like what I'm having to do is come right down the edge of this walkway right here and draw those fish out. They're still kind of sitting under that walkway, and I'm having to kind of draw those fish out from that walkway. Angles are very, very important in crappie fishing, and that's what we got right here. I just found the right angle to get these fish to bite. There we go. This feels like a big crappie right here. This is a good one here. Yep. Big black nose. Get up in here, buddy. About time I got one out of that school. About time. To be honest with you, I like getting on the water early this time of the year because it's still hot. There ain't no doubt. I mean, it's supposed to get up 95 or so today. But if you're fishing docks, you can sleep in. Because, I mean, the higher that sun gets, the better it's going to position those fish on those docks. And in all honesty, it makes it easier because it concentrates those fish more under those docks. So I fully expect it to get a little better as the day goes on here. Got him. That's another good one too. There was 3 of them come at it that time, and this one right here, he was coming pretty hot and heavy. I could tell he was probably gonna have it, and he did. You'll see what I mean? That sun getting high. That's back to back. Good keepers, not a great big one. Perfect eating size though. Perfect eating size. I've been eating a lot of fish lately. Been keeping several fish lately. But I give a lot of fish away. I give fish away to friends, family. I can promise you, if you ever see me keeping fish in my videos, those fish are not going to waste. I can guarantee that. I don't believe in that whatsoever. I love to catch them way too much for that. All right, new spot. A good school of them here. I'm gonna be right under these docks right here. I'm gonna get in here and shoot a jig under there and see if we can get a couple of them. I'm gonna change colors real quick. Those fish were all over it and they didn't bite it. There was something that they did not like. I had mermaid on there. Since this is a new school, let's go back to a natural color. This color is called Percy. It's just kind of a clear, transparent color with some silver fleck in it. What we're going to do, we're going to take that natural color. We're going to put just a little dab of chartreuse right there on the tail, just like that. All right, now let's put that in there and see if they'll eat that. I believe they will. There we go. We got one of them that time. Oh, there's a cross member down there and he's scraping it. Good keeper. Just held it right there in his face and he thump. Black nose crappie. Nice one too. Get back in there and do that again. Maybe that'll get them fired up. There we go. That son of a gun said, thump. Oh, he's on that cross member. Come on. I got 4-pound leader on. Got to really be careful. They start scrubbing you on that that cross tie that goes along the bottom right there. It's all metal. Doesn't take long for it to rub that 4-pound line in too, but that's a good fish. Good eater. I'm gonna show y'all what I've caught most of these fish on today. My little setup here. Now, majority of the time, you guys see me using a split shot rig when I'm fishing brush and stuff like that. I call it a split shot rig. It's just basically a jig head with a split shot above it just to add a little weight and get it down a little better. But obviously for fishing docks, especially shooting docks, the split shot rig doesn't work because, well, you can't skip it. It won't skip. So what I'm using right here is just a 1/32 ounce jig head. And that little hook, I like to bend it out just a little bit, just to open that gap up just a little. It's just a little 1/32 ounce head. And then I'm just taking a trout magnet and just threading it up on that little 1/32 ounce head. Be sure and get him good and straight. I mean, as straight as you possibly can, because you want him to fall perfectly straight. The rest of my setup is a 6'6" Mustad Detector Series rod. Great little crappie rod, 7-pound, vicious panfish braid, 4-pound, vicious 100% fluorocarbon, 2500 size reel. Simple little setup. 1/32 ounce is my favorite size for crappie fishing on docks. If I can get by with it, more times than not, I'm gonna use a 1/32. I just feel like I get more bites with it. Sometimes if the wind's up or you're fishing super deep, you may have to go to a 16th or even a 1/8, but I'm a 1/32 ounce guy when it comes to fishing docks. That's what I like. All I'm doing is just grabbing that jig right there by the head, pointing it where I want it to go, shooting it right up in there, just like that.
Got it. Now that feels like a good crappie right there. Finally got us a good one. That's a nice one. Get up in here, baby. It's one we've been looking for all morning right there. That's more like the size we've been catching. Barely got him right there in the snoot. Let me get him where I can hold him up here so y'all can see him. Pretty black nose. That's a good fish right there. And that joker was way back under that dock. There we go. Pretty important fish if I get him in here. I mean, not that we wouldn't catch another one, but that's number 15. That's my limit here in Tennessee, and that's all I need. We're gonna keep on fishing for them, but that's a nice little old fish. We got some real good eaters in there. I'll let y'all see what we're working with. And we got a bunch of them that size right there, about 11.5 inches or so. Got a couple of good slabs too. That's a good fish. Been a good morning. All right, everybody, that's gonna wrap it up for today, man. It has done got hot out here. Let me tell you, it is a blazer, but they were biting pretty good today. Not bad. A little bit slow this morning, but like I mentioned in the video, you know, a lot of times fishing docks, you want that sun to be high because it positions those fish, and that's exactly what happened today. They kind of started biting better as the day went on. So it was a fun day. I appreciate you guys riding along. We'll get back after them here in a few days. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Love to hear from you. Appreciate you watching. See you next time right here, Brandon Lester Fishing.